We are living in the in-between. I'm Amy from the Lakes, and today we're taking a look at Acts chapter 12. You and I were living in between Jesus' first coming and his second coming. You see, at his first coming, he brought the kingdom into the world. He expanded God's rule and reign. He showed us God's intention for how life would be if we were completely under God's reign. We see sickness healed, people delivered and set free. We worship freely in spirit and in truth. That's the expansion of God's kingdom. And yet it's not complete. We also recognize that there is still sin and sickness and darkness and disease in this world. And his rule and reign won't be totally complete until Jesus returns again. You and I were living in the in-between. And the kingdom has come, and yet not fully. And Acts chapter 12 is actually a really good picture of that tension. It's this great story of how Peter is delivered from prison. He escapes by an angel coming and removing him from that place. And he returns to a church that has been praying for his deliverance and then continues on spreading the good news of Jesus. But the beginning of the chapter, we read this. It was about this time that King Herod arrested some who belonged to the church, intending to persecute them. He had James, the brother of John, put to death with the sword. When he saw that this met with approval from among the Jews, he proceeded to seize Peter as well. The same chapter that has this miraculous escape from prison of Peter, we also see James, the brother of John, losing his life for the gospel. We live in the in-between, where the kingdom is not yet fully come. And there is that tension between what is God's will for the world and yet what isn't. And this is a hard place to live. But yet we also have the opportunity to partner with God to increase his rule and his reign on the earth. But we recognize that it is incomplete. We are living in the in-between. Have you ever lived in the in-between in a different way? Perhaps you were in between houses or in between jobs or some other in between and recognize the tension between those two things. Why don't you post your experience in the comment box below? Thanks for joining us.